of it, the fact that you're representing yourself, and that other people can identify with the things that you've gone through. That's what it really was for me, and still is. Yeah. What's your favorite part about the platform you've been given by being in IRL? I think it's favorite part. There's a lot of things. If you say the platform, if we're talking strictly the platform, being, I guess, the voice I have, I really love seeing people just like relate, I guess. I like bringing people together and stripping away like boundaries of protection that we put on ourselves. I think it's given me the ability to I think it's the fans, first of all, like, just to let y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like the impact that you can have on a person, and the fact that you can say something, or by being yourself and showing that you're another person just like them. I think that's a really big problem with a lot of social media, is that we people don't post about or admit that they have like flaws, and they don't so, and I just, it's not realistic. It's not true. And it's the same way that like commercials and stuff will say, it basically picks on your insecurity to make you do something. It's telling you like, oh, you're not as good as you would be without this. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a lot of what Instagram and all that thing is. It's like people put their little highlight reels on the internet, which is what it is. It's a highlight reel. You don't really get to know a lot of these influencers, people. You don't really know their true personalities, and you don't. But why are we influenced by them? Like, that's crazy. Sorry, I went on a little tangent, but that's that. I'm going to answer this question because I think that... Okay, so here's the thing. When you're sad, and I recently went through this, so I'm kind of fresh on this whole concept right here. It's really just accepting the fact that sometimes you gotta accept the fact that you gotta be sad sometimes. And I think that when you do have those emotions, it's really beneficial to not run away from them. Now, if one of the things that I have been trying to do recently is like more so just feel the things I'm feeling more. And if I'm sad, like, instead of being like, oh, I shouldn't be sad right now, I'm gonna like numb myself, take some time, like go outside or whatever, and I'll just like, it sounds mad depressing, but sometimes I'll just sink, you know what I mean? Like sink into it and kind of, but once you sink, you're like, and you see all these, like, you have all these emotions and thoughts like inside you, you're like, and it's scary. But once you look around you and you like look within and you're like, all right, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? And you admit that to yourself, then you can get over it. There's a reason why we feel better after we cry. There's a reason for that, you know? Sometimes you just gotta accept the fact that us as humans need to be sad sometimes. Because happiness isn't necessarily the goal. It's just like, it's acceptance, and it's freedom to be you, and like, don't get mad at an emotion. Like, we're meant to feel things, or else we're not humans. Are you all right now? I'm great right now. I'm really good. I've been great. The last 2 days have been really amazing for me. Hardest decision you had to make just to be where you are now? Hardest decision? I don't know if I really had a hard decision. To be honest with you, I think a lot of this, I knew. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what was right, and I knew what was going to get me there. But at some point, I needed to show people that it was possible, and I think that that's why I'm so grateful for boy band and being in the band right now, is because of that. Because if without it, I wouldn't have shown people that, I'm right. Like, So I don't think I had to make any tough decisions. I guess it was like, well, actually, I take that back, because I did have to make a tough decision. And I've told people about this, but when I've said this, I've said this before, so if you've heard this story, like, I'll try to summarize it a little bit. But at the end of Boy Band, the show, we were pitched the song Eyes Closed, and the song Eyes Closed they told us that this is going to be the single for the band, whoever the band was. So I wasn't even in the band at this point. And there were 8 members, and we went in to record this thing, and they had a rap on it. And someone else wrote the rap, and I didn't like the rap. I thought it was super whack. Still think it is whack. But they told me, like, I was in the studio, and I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm going to write my own. So I wrote my own, went in there, recorded that, and I told them I wasn't going to record the other one. One of the producers ended up coming up to me, and he, like, tricked me almost into, like, he's like, just do it just in case. And I did it, and that was the take you heard. I only recorded it one time. And towards the last week of the show, they were, like, we had already been voted as the band, so all the producers and everyone knew who the band was, but no one was allowed to tell us, obviously, because we had to find out at the finale. And they had us all come into a room one by one with our parent if we were a minor. I wasn't a minor, but I had my mom come in with me, and I was like, look, I'm not trying to perform this shit. Like, this isn't, I'm not trying to be in a band that's gonna, like, this already feels like selling out, like selling myself. So I told the producers that I didn't want to perform it, and that I was gonna, like, and they were like, is this something that you want? Do you want to be in this band? And I was like, honestly, man, like, I don't know right now. I don't know if I want to do that. And I ended up talking to Timbaland about it, talked to Emma Bunton, and a couple other people, obviously my mom, and we all decided that, life moves on. I'm not going to be remembered for one verse, and I don't need to throw away an opportunity like this when it could actually be something great. So that was my hardest decision. Yeah. How do you let someone go, or to accept that they're not in your life anymore? Yeah, that's a tough one. That's tough. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta be the bigger person and give them their closure that they need, but you have to do it the right way and be mature. Always be the bigger person. Well, we are all happy you stayed. It wouldn't have been the same without you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. How are you? I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you for telling this business piece of your life story. It's calming to have someone that... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I like this one. How did you find inspiration / confidence to become the person you are today? I think it was just the constant feeling of not liking like what I saw in myself and not being. I just really wasn't confident in what I was doing, and I was kind of like. It just took a lot of beating to get me to be like, yo, I need to actually do something about it. And I think it was doing something creatively that I really wanted to do. That I was like, I put my whole heart into it. I got to say everything I wanted to say, and I wasn't limited. I wasn't given like 4 bars. Like that's all I'd really had for a minute. And that as just the things that I write, and not having a lot to like, I have so much to say, but I didn't have any space to say it, I felt like. And once I did that, I was like, okay, now I see what my purpose is and all this. And I'm like, all right, this is my role, you know? Who's your inspiration? I have so many. One of my first inspirations, I guess I could say, when I was a kid, I was really into baseball. My dad's always been a big fan of baseball, and we lived in Seattle at the time, so it was the Mariners, and my favorite player was Ichiro Suzuki. And he just like, I don't know what it was about him. I think it was his work ethic, the fact that he was like consistent. I don't know what it was, but he was one of my first inspirations as a kid. A lot of movie characters were my inspirations. Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Luke Skywalker, like people like that. And then when it got into John Williams. He's a composer who does like he did Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, like Superman, like all those like epic things you hear.